Welcome to Political Head Trauma.
Why'd you sound so...
I didn't know if I was going to yawn or agree with you. It's coming on. I can feel it.
Yes. Welcome to Political Head Trauma, where if Head Trauma had a podcast, it sounded like this. And let's kick off the intro.
Live from Utah's Wasatch Front, the pulse of the Mountain West, where the issues that shape your life meet the truth that sets you free. Across Utah, across the Republic, and around the world, welcome. This is KMMU.
All right, we're back. Don't guess tonight. So Holly was out for a couple days. She was on a secret mission somewhere, parts unknown.
Yeah, I hope that some of those people that I met on that mission are watching tonight.
Doing
so
things
great.
unknown.
It's been a wild couple of weeks. Tell you what, it's hot out there, y'all. It's been a really great time out here in Twilla County. Great weather the last couple weekends. I hope you had a great Labor Day, everybody.
Got a little bit of rain last weekend.
Yeah. On Friday, we got rain midday, and it was perfect.
Were you at the raceway while it was raining?
Yeah, Formula Drift. It was awesome. So if you have never seen Formula Drift, it's so cool. It's just like Tokyo Drift when you get in your mind of where they glide across the racetrack. But these cars do it so close to each other and in tandem. And I mean, they get so close to each other, and any second they could crash because they're literally drifting. And it's a dance, and it is an art. And they actually have these drones that fly over the race cars as they're going. So on our Jumbotron at the track, you're watching it. It's so cool. And Friday, it was overcast. For normally at the race, it's so hot. It's usually you're melting all day long and just dying in the heat. But this time it was overcast and it started to rain. Everybody was watching the track now going, oh my gosh, are they going to stop it? Because it's slippery and these cars going. And they said, rain or shine, we're running.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how is it when it's wet on the track?
More interesting.
Yeah. It
definitely was. We had a great turnout Friday. And then Saturday, it was hot as hot can be. And what it wasn't, I mean, it had a breeze, but it wasn't windy. So that's one of the worst is when it's hot and windy during race day because the dust kicks up and then it's even scarier for the drivers and you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
But it was way fun. I do love Formula Drift.
And you were running, now are they drifting in Formula One cars?
No, they're drifting in other cars that they build. These are individual teams. They're just called Formula Drift. I mean, it is literally so well executed. It's like a dance. And the first day.
Do these guys work together all the time? Or are they like
No, there's different racing teams and they actually they have to knock each other out before they can get to qualifiers.
Like push each other off the track with
I don't think they try. They try to do it with speed.
So that does happen.
Yes, it does happen.
Okay. But
it's
nothing
never
bad.
Boring. Let me just put it that way.
Okay,
it's never
good.
boring.
Well,
it's a great show.
We need to start advertising stuff like that so people show up. That's the thing. My biggest gripe with the track is it never advertises locally.
That's because the track doesn't host or is not the event coordinator or the producers of the event. It's produced by whoever's hosting the event. So this was a Formula Drift event. They advertise all over the world and they live stream to almost 1 million people.
Okay.
And so they do all their own advertising. It's not the track that advertises. It's the event.
I still think the track ought to at least have a Facebook page where they say, this weekend we're doing this stuff and have a picture.
They do. And you'll see, at least on my Facebook, I got 1 million Formula Drift advertisements that say, Tooele, Grantsville, Utah, come see us.
Okay.
But
yeah, because that's something that'd be cool to go to. That's one thing. I never know what's going on at the track or if anything is.
Well, you should go on BurtBrothers.com, BurtBrothersMotorsports.com. They have a calendar on there, and anything open to the public is always listed. And then private events, you can always get go to the person's private page and get your tickets through them, like Nitro Circus and things
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
I'm not sure if Nitro will be back this year. I know Nitro's definitely worth going. Formula Drift is definitely worth going.
Mhm.
It's just so much. It's so much to see, but it was so much fun.
Well, that's good. Now, okay. So we did lose the Country Fan Fest, right?
We lost that a decade ago.
A decade ago.
Yeah. The Country Fan Fest has been built with the county for the last 10 years.
Okay, but I mean, the county
You're
lost
thinking,
that.
oh, yeah, just this
Like-
year.
This is the first year without it.
Yes.
Okay.
But we gained the Nightlights event, the county did,
The
and the track lost Nightlights.
Okay, but the night lights is when you light the candle in the Japanese
Lanterns.
lantern and let them float away, which I've done that.
Yeah.
And that is quite impressive, really.
Oh,
It's
Hans.
moving.
It is.
Okay. So what other things has the county picked up? Not to make this just a county show. Sorry,
No, but I
everyone.
mean,
we're going to bore you to death.
I
for
think
like
it's
2
going to
minutes.
be. I think it's going to be a lot of different things. Different events with rodeos.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Well,
new business stuff going on.
was it last year when that guy got assaulted in his trailer pretty bad? Is that what kind of made us decide not to go with the Country Fan Fest again?
No, I don't think so. I think it was completely Country Fan Fest decision.
Oh, they decided. I wonder why.
I don't know. I'm not privy to that. We've got great facilities out here in the county, especially with the work they've done at the Deseret Peak and the improvements they've made. Lantern Fest is just one of the amazing things. If you haven't seen one of those, go see a Lantern Fest. They're so neat.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap.
You would think to go there and set off a lantern would be cheap, but you get this little packet. I mean, when I went, it was like, you can bet on an average of between 70 and $100 per person, but you get this packet and it has your lantern in it and a marker, and you kind of write your hopes and dreams on the lantern and the
Or you
candle.
write to a loved one that you're sending up to the sky.
Whatever, and then you light the little candle and hold the lantern above it while it builds the hot air, and everyone tries to do it all at once so that they all kind of release at once, and then it'll be thousands of these soft light lanterns floating, and it's really
And you go from this music festival all day long.
yeah, it's kind of
to
a hippie
silence as
Yeah.
the lanterns are going up, and there's this beautiful spiritual style music playing as they go up, and it's like everybody's just silent, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is quite beautiful. And the music, they've got like, it'd be one of those that anybody can find entertainment in the music. They don't.
Yeah, it's a
Not
DJ.
it's not a complete genre. That when I went, I think they had a DJ on the north side, and then on the west side they had a live band that played kind of a
mix.
70s rock.
So one thing I tell parents, I went with my kids when they were little. I never recommended that again.
Yeah.
Because again, it's thousands of people launching fireballs into the sky, and some people have been drinking that day.
Mhm.
And I found myself dodging these flaming lanterns from coming towards my kid's stroller, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why didn't I expect anything less? And so what I did the following years is I would go to the park nearby, and we would watch the lanterns go up and just not be at the event. Felt safer for small families. Now, if you've got a big family and you want to go, just make sure someone's always watching where those fireballs are going. Having worked that event a few times, I've seen it all, and it's such a beautiful event, but it's also it can get crazy,
Tell
but
you
it's
what,
worth it.
that'd be the ideal second date.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be a killer second date. You are definitely getting all the way to peck on the cheek at the end of that date.
Yeah, that's wholesome. You're wholesome.
I
I
am.
like that mood you're in. So welcome
I'm a-
everybody. It is Friday. We are happy to be back together again.
Yes.
It has been a couple weeks. My thanks to those of you that participated with
Yeah,
Jared in the last coming weeks, Carrie and Katie.
Carrie and Katie. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for everyone who came and watched us, dropped the comments, all that stuff. It helps out a lot. So yeah, tonight, I mean, we'll lead off with kind of what the show's named after. The media was telling us that Trump had passed because they hadn't seen him in a couple of days.
This just to me is so. Trump came out and actually said he said what they were saying something bad happened to me.
Ducey said, "So what do you make of them saying you died?" He says, "It's the first I've heard of it."
And what's crazy is he made a great point. Biden was nowhere to be seen for a week at a time.
Well,
And they never suggested, oh, he's dead or, none of that. But Trump's gone 2 days on a Labor Day weekend and he is having meetings. He's just not having meetings with them.
or he's spending time with his family.
And he does a press conference like every day.
Well,
No president does as many as him.
The thing that got me about it, well, okay, now under Biden, had he not shown up for, let's push it, had he gone a couple of weeks, I mean, we would have said something. The whole right would have, including me as an independent, and everything else. And there was commonly a joke that he was replaced with a body double, or maybe they were low on adrenochrome that week, so we didn't see him, or whatever else, or maybe, there was all those things. So the difference is that is people who are not supporters of Joe Biden then would say that, or people who not adversarial, but they're anywhere from probably mid-range indifferent to not supporters.
I had genuine concern about the man.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was going back to his state every week.
I liked that they had the fake across from the White House, like somewhere in DC, they had a fake studio set up for him to talk in for a while. And I was like, what was going on there? It was probably something stupid, like they were painting the room or something else. They just set up something different, but everyone made a big deal out of that on Biden.
It's a lot of the times, every time he spoke, he was reading a teleprompter. He had to, even when he was sitting at his desk in the Oval.
Pause for effect.
He said, what did he say? Something pause.
Yeah, he said, yeah. But and let's face it, I'm going to be honest, Trump has lost some steps since just January. He has. He's slowed down quite a bit since January.
Are you out of? Do you know what kind of weekend he had?
Sure.
You should
100%.
see his golf game that he had this weekend.
Yeah, that's where he first shows back up after he died, was golf. They're gonna, and I wonder.
I do not think he's lost steps.
I think he has. The guy is in his 80s. Can we take a minute and reflect on? Can we never?
He's not in his 80s.
He's
not? Born in 1947.
Okay, so what does that put him?
He'll be 80 in 2027.
Okay, so the guy is almost in his 80s. I stand corrected. Like, holy cow. So I just want to reflect on, can we not elect another boomer into office, people? Let's just make that just universally. Democrats, Republicans, let's all come together on this. No more boomers.
No, I think it matters on the person.
Let's come together.
No
more boomers.
Because I'm trying to think of who else could do what he's doing. Next time around, JD Vance, maybe, but we needed him in this time, in this moment.
We're going to be talking. I mean, that's something else we got to hit on. But anyway, so then he comes out and he's alive. And then the media's like, well, hey, what's up, Jordan? He says, yo, what's up, guys? Party with Jared and Holly. Woohoo. Trump would totally beat me at golf.
Oh, Trump is
Oh,
phenomenal
He
at
would
golf.
smoke me at golf.
Yeah. Like he's the champion at his club.
I
And
think
they did a championship and he won it. And him and Tiger Woods golf together. Like,
my handicap somewhere in the 3 digits,
yeah.
somewhere in there. Like they, like if I'm playing 19 holes against someone for real, they start me on the 18th hole putting. But anyways,
Why would you play 19?
I don't
Is
know.
that part of the joke?
Maybe. I don't know how to golf.
You're somewhere between the clubhouse bar and the parking lot getting your clubs.
There we go. I'll be at the mini golf down
If
the
you're doing
street.
19 holes, you're doing it wrong.
How many holes are there?
There's 9 and 18.
Oh, 18 holes. Yeah, 19 holes. Means you're doing one of them twice. Um,
Hi, Jordan.
so, and then the media, they keep pointing out he's got a bruise on his hand. Could be from could even be from an IV. Then they're saying, well, he's dragging a leg.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
when they
they're-
got a tiny snippet of him getting out of the golf cart.
They're trying to say he's had a stroke. Now, I'll tell you this morning, had any of you watched me get out of my truck at work, you'd have thought I had 2 strokes on the way to work.
That's me too.
I got out like a crippled old man. I was hobbled. I was busted. But anyways, so they've
well, you're
got,
almost 80, so.
yeah, I'm closer to it than not.
I think the press
Can't
is
all
just,
be 28 like you.
they're reaching. Thank you.
Well,
They're
they
reaching.
are. Well, what I was saying is, so the press obviously shows that they, on the average, are his adversary. Where they were Biden's cheerleader, they are President Trump's adversary. So that's why you get all these press stories that are kind of like always a bent on negative. And like right now, we've got this build up to sending National Guard into Chicago. I have no formulated opinion on that. I'm like,
I do.
Chicago could probably use some help, but also, I mean, the murder rate there is crazy. I don't like the precedent it sets because I'm telling you right now, next Democrat that gets into office, they're just going to send National Guard everywhere. Another thing that bugs me.
Wait, let me talk about that.
Yes, you go on.
I'm totally fine if he does it in DC. It is a district of the federal government, and it used to be done by Congress,
Yep.
and the mayor's even on board right now because they have a safe city and they're loving it. The people of Chicago, the people of LA, the people of New Orleans, they have reached out to this White House and they have said, Trump, come do ours next. And because there's so many people living in fear of the crime and stuff happening in their cities, what they need to do is reach out to their governor, who is the one who would have to invite the National Guard in, using the White House to explain what they did in DC or whatever. I don't want my president going into my state and overriding my governor. I just don't like that. I think that is an
Now that's
absolute
Prisker
against
in
the
Illinois,
Constitution.
right?
I think so.
Prisker in Illinois, and the mayor's name is Johnson. She's double checking me to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm looking at David's point, and he said, Rand Paul, please. And then he said, the media is testing the audience to see how easily they can be influenced. I thought they already knew after COVID.
Yeah, seriously.
But you know what? The Constitution gives states rights for a reason. And that's why presidents aren't supposed to go into states and tell them the what for. I do believe the people of Chicago need some intervention. And I think the governor of Chicago should definitely consider doing something to help these people. But you can't have militaries in the streets either, where in America people say, because it's posse comitatus.
Well, the funny thing about it is so they elect this socialist. Johnson is 100% a socialist. They elect him, and Socialists over here, because they're in the US, will operate on the left coded bent and defund police and demoralize police. And honestly, I think they're just trying to cause that low trust society so they can gather more power to themselves. And what they've got to do is they've got to quit. I'm telling you, cities right now, why don't Chicago be our test subject? I would like to see Chicago in their next election elect a Republican. And that's not because I'm a Republican. Just do a test, trial run, 4 years.
Just
trial
stop
run.
doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Try just something different.
Elect a Republican in your mayor and in your district attorney. You can leave your alderman, all Democrat, socialist, retard, whatever. Don't care. Just put a Republican as the mayor and as your district attorney and see what that does for crime. And if that works, then maybe, hey, maybe we need to mix up policies. You can mix and match, throw a Democrat in here, and Republican in there and try things out. Maybe grab a wacky libertarian or independent, grab them, mix and match, single party is not the way to go. And I don't care what party it is. It's not the way to go.
But we know blue cities also aren't the way to go, especially big cities. I don't know what blue cities are safe. It looks like so many of these are they're terrifying. And these are families that don't have the option to live anywhere else. And yet, 78 people shot over the last 2 weeks in Chicago and 8 dead.
That was less than 2 weeks. It was less than 14 days.
And that's common.
There was like 40 in just last weekend.
They have thousands of deaths. I can't imagine living like that.
I think they average like 500 a year.
And it's black on black crime.
Oh, 100%.
And what's horrible is the guy says, well, maybe if red states didn't have such open gun laws. And you're like, wait, what? It's our fault that your people are being shot in the streets?
There's that culture. The inner city black culture has been destroyed by the Democrat government and policies going back to Johnson. The Great Society destroyed them.
It's true.
And they need to make a decision that they're going to get out of that on their own. They're going to break their reliance on government. They're going to become, I don't care, go reliant on your church, go reliant on your neighborhood, but break reliance on your government because it's just dragging you down. The next closest community lags far behind on their community violence, and that's the Hispanic community, and they lag far behind. So you got to break that. You got to get your fathers back in the home. Start looking to your neighbors to uphold standards in your own neighborhood, and hold the fathers to account when they get a girl pregnant. Hold the girls to account when they go out and when they go out and start working on having multiple baby daddies. Hold them to account. You've got to culturally control your own community.
And that goes for every community.
It does. It does.
It takes a village. It takes a village. Sometimes kids need role models that are both male and female, and they need good role models. And right now, the role models these young people are seeing are gangbangers and single family homes, single mom homes, and single dads. And every kid needs a mom and a dad and an influence of both. And if they don't have it, then little girls need to have a good male role model around just as much as little boys need to have a female role model, but they also need that male, especially teenage boys, because that's the time when they're just getting their aggression going and they're going through puberty and their life is changing, and they need to see a leader show them where to put this frustration, where to put this passion, and how to do it as a gentleman and how to do it as somebody who's going to be alive in 15, 20, 60, years
Yeah.
and believe in themselves.
I mean, imagine the that fans
Mom.
website would collapse if Father stuck around.
You're not wrong. I mean, that's
I know I'm
sad.
not wrong. You know what? And it is. Isn't it a travesty that that's become our community? Our culture has become a
not
culture.
Not just that. If Dad stuck around, yes, but also if there weren't so many predators in this world, because a lot of these girls that are doing the fans, these girls have been victims of predators,
How much of them do you bet have no father around?
or the father is the predator.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, you just had to take it gross.
No, that's the reality.
I know, but
So when we say they need a father figure,
well,
they need a good person
I'll tell you what.
in their life, not just a sperm donor that's like,
in a past
Yeah.
life, I was a bouncer at a brothel. And there was one thing in common amongst all those,
like a real brothel or like a strip,
a real brothel.
like a house for what is it? Ill repute?
House of ill repute.
No kidding.
Yep. Right there. Boom.
Where's that?
Pahrump, Nevada.
Pahrump.
Yep. Sherry's Ranch.
There's no relation, Cher.
Wait a minute.
Is it still there?
Yes.
Well, then shout out to Sherry's.
It's kind of like this is what my understanding is. A lot of the ladies that work there would do a couple weeks or a month there and then go do a couple weeks or a month up at the Mustang. And then they would go home for a couple weeks or a month. Some of them never went home ever. But yeah.
Why? They die there?
No, there were
They just live there?
there were some ladies that had no family to go home to.
This just makes me sad.
It was very sad. It was very sad. It was sad. Hey, speaking of Mr. Woods, it was really sad to just trying to communicate with them. And they were damaged people that would try to hurt you. Like they would try to pin you in a corner and get inappropriate with you or get you in trouble and things like that. You had to be on your toes with them more than with anyone else. Had to make sure they weren't smuggling drugs in, or they were, and there were a couple of them that were trustworthy, the old seasoned ladies, if it was, but
I you know what? I picture it as a business, like many other people do this as a business. I know it's a legitimate business to some of these women.
It's the oldest, right?
Whether it's that full thing or whether it's dancing or something. There are women who can disassociate and treat it like a business, and they literally look back and look at how stupid these men are, that they're giving me their paycheck and I'm showing them just a little bit. And I see that some girls are doing that as a business, and I have full respect for that. I mean, they can retire at 35 and start a new career doing something else if they do it right. What's sad is there's a large group of them that they don't see themselves past that. They don't see themselves doing anything else, and they are victims, and they continue to be victims through the men they date, the men they let into their lives. And it's a sad, sad cycle. And I don't wish it on any person.
I became friends with a few of them, and the stories were shocking.
I don't even want to know.
There's almost one commonality in all of them. It was, yeah.
Abuse, right? Because that was a commonality I found.
Most of them from the inner city started dating an older gentleman, and then he would turn them out.
Were they drug addicts?
Not all of them. Most of them did have substance abuse problems, but
that is a common denominator.
The one, she would she would make more money in a year than I would make in 5 years now.
So David puts here, why don't get jobs at McDonald's? That's the number one thing. Girls get addicted to the money.
Oh,
The money is so much. They
she-
can make more than a month than a lot of regular people can make in a year. Or
I will tell
it's-
you
the
Per-
money can be incredible.
I will tell you the particular story after because it's inappropriate for the radio. But she would have one customer that'd come out about twice a year. This was in 2003, and he would pay her $14,000
Her time.
for the service. And yeah.
That's seriously, but this is the oldest career in the books, right? It's not, I could never imagine doing it. I know most girls that are raised in a certain household with certain dads and certain moms, this is the last thing they could ever imagine.
Well, yeah.
You just can't imagine ever being in that situation. But that's it. It's like hurt people hurt other people. And these people have to go out into the world and they think their body is an object and they're like, hey, I'm going to use it as long as I can. I'm going to make money from it. And why, when, the dating game, men are paying for it anyways, why not just, instead of them take me to dinner, they'll just pay for something. That mindset is getting stronger and stronger in women. And I think it's going down the really bad path. Like women need to get back to a culture where they require more from the men they date, and men need to get back to a culture where they stand up and they become the men that women need them to be. But they also don't just run around town, and knock every girl up, or same with girls. I think that culture of maybe saving it for later on in life, I hope the younger people in our society are going back. I know they're going back to their religion and they're going back to more conservative values. And I'd like to see that to continue, because I think there's a lot of kids without fathers or mothers because there was no planning involved and accountability.
All studies say that Gen Alpha is more religious than, even boomer, a lot more religious than boomers were, but even writing on that, more religious than the silents were, which were the gaggle before the boomers. And but their conservatism is not a conservatism that you would recognize as such. It's not.
That word is relative, though.
Yes,
it's just like the word liberal.
They've got a new one. They're more open to homosexuality and gay marriage and things like that, but they're gaining a connection with community through church, which I think is the most important part.
But I also have no problem with homosexuality or gay marriage.
I know, but when I'm not saying
a conservative.
I'm not saying you.
What I'm saying, this is like a mindset of young people. The
young people match you more than they do when you think of the average conservative.
I see. Well, David says it's not as bad as joining the Marine Corps.
One day Crayola will make its last crayon and the Marines will cry.
All right. You two are ridiculous. But
okay,
so get back to it.
So but anyways, that was just part of the subject. Dads need to stick around, humana. But yeah, try it, inner city, try it. I mean, even just elect a Republican into just the DA. Keep all of your commie everything else. Just get a DA Republican and see what it does.
I say not just that, but push to have gun ownership in your city.
Ooh, that's a big changer.
And you would notice a huge difference because right now the victims don't have any way to fight back. Why doesn't this happen in Texas? I know that Dallas has its own crime issue, but every time someone pulls a gun in Dallas, they're doing so knowing the person they're pulling on might just be armed. Just that alone makes the crime rate lower, in my opinion. Okay,
Dave Yost, the Ohio Attorney General, they went constitutional carry. They didn't even go constitutional carry at first. I think they just made it shall issue on concealed carry in Ohio. And all but one city's violent crime plummeted. And I think it was Cincinnati is the only one that didn't. Yeah. Oh, two cities, Cincinnati and Dayton. Those, and it's not like they spiked, but Columbus went down, Cleveland went down, Toledo, Canton, Parma. Never heard of that.
Akron by almost 11%.
Yeah, Akron went down heavy.
Canton by 12%.
So this is just loosening up the gun viability. It drops crime. And this is a study that was done January 2024. And I'll bet if they went back, I'll bet it stayed down, and I'll bet those other cities, Cincinnati and Dayton, joined them.
I'm telling you that it's a totally different mindset when the people you are aggravating and terrorizing, when they have arms.
When they can aggravate and terrorize back.
What else is in common with those other cities I mentioned? With Louisiana, or with let's talk about Baltimore. Let's talk about New Orleans. Talk about
Baltimore's crime rate's been dropping. That new mayor, even though he's a rather left Democrat, he's thrown his lot in behind the police, which is funny. The Democrat or the socialists, the left-wing people in Eastern Europe, when they were in charge, they didn't mind having big, overly powered police forces. It's just over here, they demoralize them. And I'm wondering if that's just not to demoralize the populace subconsciously or consciously, which is what I think George Soros's goals are, just to make the government, make people come to them for more protection.
Drives chaos. And honestly, like these cities, a lot of things they have in common is their gun laws or regulation. And then you look at red cities where, I mean, we have concealed carry here in Utah. You don't know who is carrying now. And so if you're going to pull a gun on someone here in this state, you better damn well pray.
Yeah.
There's not a bullet with your name on it.
Well, not just that, but you can't do it in a public place because guaranteed. I mean, if I was to go to our local breakfast restaurant, there'll be two guys in there that have
at least
that are open carrying.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not a fan of open carry. Have whatever your opinion is on that. I choose to conceal carry because concealed carry, I'm not the initial target of a bad guy.
That's what I was going to say. The open carry would be the first target.
Yeah, you're
right?
the initial target. Then he gets two guns.
But I'm saying that gun laws can have an enormous effect on your city being safe. And I think that's something that's right there, something that Illinois could look at and say, you know what, we've tried it this way with these really restrictive gun laws. We're going to allow you to carry concealed.
Yeah, good luck. Good.
But
I hope
once
they
take it away
Illinois.
from you guys, it's almost impossible to get it back. If you can imagine, you just laughed at that very thought. It is almost impossible for the people of the state of Illinois to get their own God-given rights back to own and to carry and bear arms. Like, what? This is America, right? And that these same people want the president to bring in the National Guard. Well, that's the governor's call. And the governor should be on the phone with the president and saying, tell me what you did. Give me some direction. I'm going to do the same thing in my state. But not, Trump shouldn't be telling him, we're coming. We're coming. You won't know when, but we're coming. Wait a minute. That sounds like an invasion of Illinois by the federal government.
Yeah.
That's not okay. So
Dave says, if you let people have drones with guns, you will have a polite society.
David, I would give you drones with guns if that's what you wanted. I would if I was
Drones
president.
with flamethrowers. But yeah. So anyways.
So can I just say another thing that grinds my gears?
Grind away.
I loved President. I love President Trump. I think he's done amazing work. I think we're kind of in a weird stage right now because we're waiting on Putin and got all that meeting with Kim Jong-il and Putin and North Korea and all that. That's a funny story about that. But what I don't understand that Trump is doing, and if someone knows, please explain it to me because I'm asking this for real. Why does he want to allow 600,000 Chinese students into our country?
Probably the money.
I still don't understand. That's 600,000 American students who are not going to be in the college.
I agree, but
And we
I'm
have
sure-
a problem with spies in this country already.
I agree 100% on every. I agree with you. I'm just saying probably why he wants them. Probably because I'll bet they pay a premium at the college,
But the colleges make the money, not the country.
and I'll bet they pay. I'll bet he's looking at charging for the visa.
So
'Cause
maybe
he
this is a
wanted to
deal
do
he
that-
made with what's his
With
name?
Jinping?
With Xi. Maybe that's what Xi asked for in exchange for something. But I mean,
Maybe yeah, I agree. I think we should put a moratorium on
student visas.
on any immigration, and except for select ones. And when I say select ones, I think if a company wants to hire, the company should advertise, find the person, and then apply for that individual person as the company being kind of a
Sponsor.
sponsor and accountable for that person. And if the company wants to bring the person and the whole family, the company is sponsors and accountable for all of that. And that
That's how it
means that
used to be.
company has to take on whatever the local area would deem for the education of any children, for any of that. I think the company needs to say, this is something we're willing to do.
And it can be included in the cost of the person's wages. So their insurance,
However they do it.
their housing, all of that, and the company sponsors. There, it used to be how it was.
And also, I want our government to know if they've done that. I want our government to be able to go and check up on the welfare of these people. I don't want the companies to end up with carte blanche to get slave labor over here like Saudi Arabia does. I would like the government to be able to go and check on that person. Is he getting paid? Humana, does he still have possession of his documents? That's one thing I'd make it a law. If a company brings someone over and takes their documents, we take the head of that company and we, do unspeakable things to them with,
and I
stuff
think
built out of wood and steel.
when they come out, or when they're coming over, whoever's coming over in that company sponsorship, they got to go through our immigration system
Yeah.
first, so we know who they are, their
I
fingerprints,
would
their
have
DNA.
that done before they even come over.
Yes, they have that done, and then they check in with a caseworker every 3 months
David
or
says,
something. I
but
know he's
maybe
such
they
a dork.
only get to take courses like African history or African dance theory or
He never mentioned Africa, by the way.
Chicano studies.
Women's studies in basketball,
just
or women's basketball studies.
just make it so they can only do that, and that way all the information they take feminism back over to China and destroy that country like they've done over here.
Well, that's just it. I mean, they're going to take all of these courses, and they're very smart, the people of China, and they're going to send the best of the best. We know that about China already, and they're not staying to use their education here in the country. They're taking it home. And so when I'm thinking, like, why not give it the space to Americans who are staying, or immigrants that are applying not for a visa, but for immigration and for citizenship status. I know many people here are self-deporting right now, people who are not documented, and they love this country, and I would love to see reform in the system where these people can self-deport on their own and then get back on the list and get a company to sponsor them and get them back in here under a sponsorship, because there's valuable people out there that have given 20 plus years to this country, never got citizenship for whatever reason, never committed crimes other than overstaying a visa. And if the company they've given 25 years to were to come out and say, listen, this has been an employee of ours, we didn't realize that he wasn't legal, let us sponsor him and what do we need to do?
Yeah,
I think the country
I'm
should allow
fine with
that
giving an avenue for companies to sponsor them while they're still here.
and
Just
get
saying,
their
we
citizenship.
got this guy here. We want to sponsor him. Humana. You know, and they don't need, if he doesn't want to get his citizenship, that's not something he has to pursue. I don't want to see them bring over slave labor.
No.
I don't want to see that. I don't want our culture diluted into that horrid nightmare again. But
And that's it. I think the people that I've talked to would love to be citizens of this country, but they've never went through with it because they've overstayed a visa and now they're in the wrong and now they're scared to come out of the light into the light. And I think, well, they're giving a one-time only, self-deport option. You're welcome to self-deport and you can still get on the list. Otherwise, you can be deported and then you cannot be on the list for however many years you spent here illegally. This is a slippery slope because I am with Trump on this, that we need to know who's in this country, and criminals have no business being here. If it's good enough for Canada, if it's good enough for Mexico, it's good enough for us, right?
But Canada doesn't do that. Canada won't let a U.S. citizen just go and hide in their country forever.
Neither does Mexico.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's match them at least.
Or we reset the welfare state. No more welfare state. If they're here, they've got to stand on their own 2 feet. Then they're not a burden on us.
They still are a burden on resources and schools and all that.
How do they
pay for public school?
No more welfare state. They don't go to school.
Yeah.
They figure out a private option. They figure out, or they start picking up the property tax that pays for the school, and then they go to school.
We need to know who they are.
Sure.
Any other country has to know who's in their borders.
Sure.
So do we.
Sure.
We need to set a standard that says the United States protects its sovereignty and it protects its people.
How many of them would leave if we did away with the welfare state?
I have no idea.
I'll bet we'd lose half overnight. Anyways.
It's in the talks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about ending any type of welfare for undocumented people.
Oh, I'm talking the welfare state.
That's the thing, though. We've got a lot of Americans on that welfare state that it needs to get off. Yep. And the thing is, I'm not against welfare, guys. I've been on welfare myself. At the worst moment in my life, it saved my family, and I'll always be grateful for that. But we need to go back to a time where you graduated from that and you had a party, or like our parents' time when you kept it a secret if you had to get government cheese. You couldn't go in and get chips and Dr. Pepper and big, huge steaks and things like that when we were kids. If you were on welfare, you got the milk, the produce, some meats, some grains. And I think that's what we need to go back to where it's a stepping stone when you are in need, not something you live on. And I feel like all of us know someone who has made their career of being on welfare.
Yeah. Well, my ex-wife. Anyways, next weekend, everyone, we've got pistol class. It's the 13th and 14th. This upcoming weekend, there's still time to sign up.
Hey, it's not slave labor if they ask to do a job for the wage. David said that.
It's not slave labor if they ask. What I'm talking about slave labor is that they come over like the Tate brothers did, and then you steal their passport, and then they're stuck. That's what I mean. So everyone,
are the Tate brothers prisoners of the United States of America?
No, the Tate brothers was doing that to young ladies in Romania.
Oh,
supposedly. I don't know.
Yeah, allegedly.
Anyway, so we've got our two-day handgun course for civilians. It's a pistol defense course. It'll be out in Stockton. So I just want to let you guys know that's next weekend. If you guys want to sign up, go to Shield Maiden Tactical LLC or just shoot me a message, and I'll forward you the phone number so you can contact directly with Mallory, the head instructor.
Guys, this was my favorite one in this class. It's cold and cool outside, but
Yeah.
not freezing. It's actually hot during the day, but you do a night course. So you get kind of cold, but it's not freezing. You can still fire your gun and not be frozen. This is such a fun class, and it's such a great class for first time gun owners.
Yeah. And especially you ladies out there, this is a confidence builder. This will, if you've got a firearm and you're not that familiar with it, maybe a little nervous of it, come see us at this class. We'll help you in starting down that path. And
I need a refresher.
yeah, you need to come
How
to the
much is
class. I'll talk to you. The class is normally $300, but
So this worth every single penny, and it's because you're there for 20 hours in total. Is that right?
Usually a little more than 20.
But you're getting that many hours of training to the point where I went there, never loading my own pistol before, because I have brothers and a dad who made sure that I didn't have to load my own gun. And target practicing with a pistol, I rarely ever did that. And that we would always do rifle range practice, but never pistol. And then close knit training on how to avoid ever having to use it.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I had full confidence when I left there, and I feel so much better.
This is one of the most advanced pistol courses you'll take. This one, you actually drive your weapon from the concealment. So every other course says you have to wear it open, and they train from that, because there is another level of complexity and hazard from concealment. This one goes from concealment, and we operate the whole time from concealment. That's why I would suggest this course out of any other course, like Thunder Ranch. I'd suggest it over Thunder Ranch, which Thunder Ranch would be more expensive, but this one goes from concealment. I think that's the most important thing, because that's how you'll be moving about your day, with a garment covering that weapon. So
I definitely need that.
Yeah, however you would carry it out on the street, that's how you'll be driving it there.
My purse, maybe.
In a purse, we do. We've been, over the last year, we've been doing off-body carry. We've had lots of female students doing off-body carry.
Brilliant.
Karen and Belle down the street. Karen's sister, I'll remember her name another day.
That's
or
okay.
Karen's sister-in-law. But anyways,
I don't know Karen. So
yeah, you should know Karen. Dave knows Karen.
do I know Karen?
No.
Well, can I talk about something else that's coming up or that's going on? I'll post it on our Facebook page, but please get in touch with Jared or Mallory, or go to the website, because I can't stress it enough that this was such a big life changer for me.
I'll call out the phone number for you.
It gave me great confidence. I also want to talk about.
Oh, hold on. Let me
go ahead.
The phone number is 801-228-7067. So you can just, give her a call. 801-228-7067. And I will put that up on screen right now. Give Mallory a call, sign up for the course, see what she's got going on. Get in there. I don't know how quick it's going to fill up or what we're looking at now, but I know right now, I talked to her 2 days ago and we still had slots open. So,
grab a couple girlfriends. That's what I did.
That'd be a fun.
I grabbed a few girlfriends. Weekend. We went out. I grabbed my friend and my family, and I'm like, come on out with me. Let's do this together. I'm ready to do it. I brought my best friends with me. We had an awesome time. It was an awesome time. Jared loved the place so much he stayed.
Yeah.
And my other friends, we just had an awesome time, and we made more friends.
Part of it.
It was awesome. And I can't say enough good about it. So please do consider it. And the next thing, did you hear there was reports of West Nile in the United States, and they're watching it? And then Judge Roberts came back with malaria.
Yeah, and I've
He
heard
was traveling to, where was he, in Africa, I think?
I heard tuberculosis is in Maine.
No kidding. Are you kidding?
Telling you,
Well-
you guys went and pissed off God, and here we are.
Because
Here we are.
I just shared on the
Could be
Facebook
raining
page.
frogs.
But Mosquito Shield, the Mosquito Shield company I've
Yes.
been bragging about, we got another treatment on our yard. And I'm telling you, bugs and spiders and mosquitoes. I don't get bit in my backyard. They had a booth at Stansbury Days, and I was sitting behind the booth. Now, my cousins own it, but I paid for a service. Like I paid them to come because I wanted to see if it really worked. And they came out. I am blown away, and I couldn't say enough good about it to people walking by. And I'm like, you live in Stansbury. If you live on the lake,
Oh,
mosquitoes are the depths of just the bane of your existence.
anywhere near water.
Yeah. And I also got to meet one of our guys from the county that handles the mosquito abatement, and he's in Lake Point. And he explained the science these guys do constantly in our county, testing mosquitoes, raising mosquitoes, trying to watch to spray in certain areas. And we talked about it. I talked about it with him. I'm like, well, I live on the lake, and this would be really, does this mosquito stuff really work? He goes, absolutely. If you're giving your lawn the care, they will avoid it totally. And West Nile has been reported in the United States. That's terrifying. So Mosquito Shield, if you call them, get on the ad, and I should leave their number. Get on the ad. They're charging $99, and that will give you a treatment through the rest of the season. And what's cool is it's for new customers only, but you're getting all kinds of great results. At least I did. I was able to sit in my backyard all summer this year, and that's not been the norm. We haven't been able, at least
You
me
live
and my
right
kid.
on the mosquito home.
Yeah. And my husband doesn't get bit. My daughter doesn't get bit, but my son and I get bit if we go outside. Gnats, mosquitoes, they just love our blood. And now I've been able to go out. Look how tan I am. I sit out like 20 minutes a day in the morning. I'm not getting eaten alive. It's amazing. We don't have spiders on our patio. We don't have ants on our patio. It's like 15 minutes they spray, and then 15 minutes later, life back to normal. And within that same day, you just don't see anything. So I cannot recommend them enough. And I hope that you guys, if you're looking for a mosquito option in North Salt Lake in Tooele County, get in touch with Mosquito Shield. And
What's the
I will
phone
give you
number?
the number here. 1 second. Okay, hold on. How do I get her info? Oh, it's 801-440-9260. And
It'll also
Mosquito
be in the
Shield,
show notes.
you ask for Jen, and she can get you scheduled. And
tell them we sent
tell her
you.
we sent you. Yes, because then they can know that she's got support here from me and Jared. And I have the sign in my yard. I love it. My neighbor has had hers done first. She has not only lived on the lake, but she has a swimming pool.
Oh, she's
Double.
hit. She's like feeding skeeters.
And that's the thing is in Stansbury, mosquitoes are so much, and I never see the abatement trucks like I used to back in 2003.
Spraying the DDT.
They used to spray it all over the roads, and I used to go like this because I'm like, that can't be safe. But after talking to the scientist that's behind it, he's like, it's safe. You don't go up and inhale the fumes, but it's safe for pets and kids. You just, that's the same. You wouldn't drink the stuff, but it is safe for plant life. And they just say, keep your animals inside while they're spraying. But 15 minutes it dries and it's done. But there is so much that these bugs carry. And that's the thing. I'm just waiting for trumpets to sound now that you mentioned. And we got malaria on one of our Supreme Court justices, and you're saying tuberculosis?
Tuberculosis is back. That's Doc Holliday stuff right there.
I'm your Huckleberry.
So this is where we're going tomorrow. Up to Fossil Lake Safari.
From
me
Bear
and the
Lake,
family.
huh?
It's by Kemmer. A little bit kind of past Bear. But I mean, here I'll flash some pictures up on the Hum and a Hum right here.
Hour and a half from Bear Lake.
I'm pretty excited. Like, I want to find one that looks like this ditty right here. Frame it, hang it on the wall. It says on their website, if you find any birds or mammals, you're not allowed to keep it. But reptiles and fish, you can keep up to X amount. Look at that. That's like a dolphin.
Or a barracuda.
Yeah. Yeah. Big old snake. Oh boy, I'm pretty excited. We're heading up there tomorrow. That's going to be a fun time with the family.
So you can keep a snake.
Yeah.
You just can't keep a bird.
Bird or mammal.
Wait a second. What if you don't tell them you found it? Is someone
well,
checking your finds?
Yeah, I think they're with you there.
So
I'm not sure.
you should look up Trilobite Mountain. If you've ever been to Trilobite Mountain, folks, I mean, that's something that our dad and mom took us to as kids. And you got to do the work. You actually are going out there and you are rock chipping away.
Well, this one you do that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it's actually an active adventure you do with your kids. And Trilobite is down by Delta, right?
Trilobite
if you just
Wilderness?
look at images and you can see what a trilobite is.
Well, I know what a trilobite is.
And those are so funny to me. And that's a really good one. We have a ton that my dad would find, but no one was checking us.
Well, that'd be cool. Well,
And-
now it used to be at this fossil lake. You used to have to take all your own stuff. Now it's like they provide
You're
you
not
with
showing
stuff.
the people. You're just showing yourself.
Okay, you want me to show?
I wanted the people to see what a trilobite is.
Oh, for the people.
And this is a Utah thing. We have a lot of fossils in Utah
We do.
of dinosaurs down in Vernal.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the dinosaur
Trilobites.
dig out there?
I haven't been to a dig, no.
That's pretty cool. They've got like a building and they've got a crevasse down the center and the digs are on the sides. And you stand in there and look across. Then, of course, they sell you a whole bunch of stuff for the kids on the way out.
Well, it wouldn't be a park if they didn't.
That's right.
But these are pretty cool, but to go with the kids. And then right near there is Topaz Mountain, which is down by Delta in Utah. And at Topaz Mountain, after it rains, you can see shiny rocks and they're little topaz. And they're beautiful.
Mm.
They're beautiful. They look like crystals. And sometimes you find little nuggets and sometimes you find big ones. And those also are just on the mountain. And we would go camping for Easter every year there and take our pails and dig. And that's just on the mountain, four-wheeling. Utah's an amazing state to travel through, even though you're traveling to Wyoming to go to yours.
Yeah.
There's adventure all over here. I don't think we're supposed to talk about Wyoming ever. They don't like us talking about them.
Tell you what, I want to move up there.
No, that's the reason. They said, everybody stop talking about us. Wyoming is closed.
I want to move up there because no one knows who the governor is.
Who is the governor of Wyoming?
Don't know. They only get one congressperson at large. Anyways, so the next thing I want to talk about, this will close it out on. So there was that someone did a poll and I called it a couple months ago that Newsom is gearing up to run. And in this poll, I don't know if I believe, but I think it was Router's poll or whoever. I know some adrenochrome lizard people poll. But Newsom is leading Vance in that poll.
Yeah, who are they polling?
I don't know. I'm telling you right now, if the Trump
Newsom is-
if the Trump administration doesn't have good showings,
Oh my goodness. Do you know they did a poll about approval ratings for Trump? And Democrats polled were like 2% approval. And the Republicans polled were like 79% approval.
I'm telling
And
you.
then you looked at the poll and I thought, how many of these Republicans that are polling used to be Democrats? Because there were a lot of crossovers. People who used to vote Democrat, who started voting Republican, are getting polled now. And they said, we'll never go back to what we were at. They were so left crazy. We're never going back to that. Newsom is a joke. California is not being rebuilt. He hasn't spent the money on rebuilding the Palisades and all that stuff. The crime is up. They're literally like doubling down on illegal immigration, being a sanctuary city and all of that. The people there better join together if they believe in freedom and get someone to run against this guy or to put this guy
he's
in
not,
his place.
He's not run. You won't be running against him in California.
I'm saying vote for a Republican in California.
No, you won't be running against him in California. I'm telling you, he's running for president in 2028.
He was running last time. We knew he was running. That's not a big surprise.
He wasn't running in 2026, in 2024. He's going to be running in 2028.
Good. I hope he does.
And
I'd love to see him up against
this is the thing that I've heard a lot of people, especially dissident left, people who were Democrats up until COVID, Brett Weinstein, I'm not sure how to say that. They're all saying, I think the Democrat Party's going to go away. They are not. And Newsom, if you count him out, you will be sorry.
Okay, we can put this in the world now. That's what you think, but
I don't like him.
That man was on a tour during 2024 trying to get attention, presidential attention. Mind you, he went up with Sean Hannity to do a debate against Ron DeSantis, who was running. Mm-hmm. And it was like a presidential style debate, which he lost handedly, in my opinion, because that man cannot talk about facts. He cannot. The beauty of this man is he's not afraid to go out and have conversations. I appreciate that about him, going on Hannity. However, you watched him put the brakes on that after the fires, because that man cannot defend where the monies went, why it's not being rebuilt. The man's made poor judgment calls, sanctuary city, these doubling down and fighting against the ICE agents, things like that. Now, if you get into 2028, let him run for president. I would put J.D. Vance up against him any day, because J.D. Vance can actually argue the facts, and J.D. Vance also can argue what the American people are tired of, and that's the culture war that is being played in California. It's still alive there. They still want trans individuals to play in women's sports, and when you call him on it, he switches it. There's people who want to own guns in California. And he still doesn't believe in that.
Oh, I know.
And this is what I'm saying. Let him run. The man's track record is garbage. The man was almost fired
matter.
while being governor.
The Democrats vote on emotion. And if Trump does things that sours the flavor with the independents, we're in trouble.
Even independents.
I'm telling you.
Independents don't like him in California. What is he going to run on? His ability to run what? He's ran California into the ground.
He's a lizard person.
What's he going to run on? What's his background that's going to get, oh yeah, I believe him. He's going to run our country so well. What's going to get independence? They're not stupid.
He's going to come out. Look, Kamala Harris ran, and she ran San Francisco into the ground on the legal side, and she was doing it corrupt. She was only
elected, really, in California. Joe Biden won the ticket. It wasn't because of her. And she wasn't elected for president, and she spent $1.5 billion. Okay,
Trump won the popular vote.
He won both,
but not by a landslide.
What do you consider a landslide? Where's the 11 million that Biden supposedly got the election before?
I think Biden,
11 million people randomly disappeared.
I am telling you, if you're counting that out, don't sit on your laurels on that one. You got to fight against that one.
And here I'm saying, if that's the best they got, bring it. Bring it. I would love to see him run for president. I would love to see it.
Honestly, I think the best they got might be Shapiro up in Pennsylvania.
They don't like him because he's not the flavor that they like.
Shapiro's
His own side is eating him.
Achilles heel is that he's Jewish.
Yeah. And his own side won't recognize him because of that. You know, the loving,
Wow.
caring Democrat Party who love everyone.
I think
Shapiro is a good choice, reasonable choice for the party. Old school liberals, I mean, that's what you guys need. This culture war crap, the American people, the independents, they're tired. They're tired of it. They want their country back.
I don't think Newsom's ever really been a culture warrior. I think he's just a chameleon. He's
a puppet.
He is the American sociopath.
He wishes he was that good.
No, he is. He switches on a dime.
Dude, he's a puppet.
He's just a chameleon.
You're giving him too much credit.
Okay. You know what? Tell me I'm wrong now.
You think he'd be president in this country?
I'm
Because we
afraid.
know he's going to run.
I'm afraid of it.
Well, if I have to stay in politics through 2028 just to make sure he doesn't win, I will do that. But you guys, I don't see us going back that quickly. Of course, if Trump did something, but Trump doesn't have to run again. And
But
JD
if Trump
Vance
does something, it's going to bleed over onto JD.
sure, as long as it depends on JD.
And picture
He
this.
can do messaging.
Remember when Kamala Harris went on, what was it, CNN, and they said, "Is there anything you'd do different?" They were begging her to say she would do a lot different.
Right.
And
Her messaging is shit.
But she said no, because she can't. She cannot betray Biden.
JD Vance could do that. He definitely could if he was running for office. Look what Pence did. His
That's true.
messaging absolutely changed.
How'd that pan out for him?
Still, he ran for president.
And how'd that pan out for him?
What I'm saying is, it's all about messaging. And the difference between all those people and JD Vance, to me,
She could have said that to you.
JD Vance is the most spot on, quick response,
I agree.
well thought out debater and honest fact finder that I could totally see him saying, here's what I didn't like. Here's what I loved. Here's what I will do differently. Because any normal person can take that situation and not betray a boss, but say, here's something I would have done different and do it in a positive way. That's messaging.
I agree with you, but you're reading it from your side.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm here. It's my side. You gave me your
I'm
opinion. I
reading
gave you
it
mine.
from her side. My chair keeps lowering down, getting shorter. Anyways, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we need to watch out for
I think
the
that
lizard.
That moment with Kamala was the greatest moment because you have the View literally hand feeding her questions that are going to get her to just leap off the page and take over. Not that they ever did a nomination for her. So they're going to pick who
No, they didn't.
the presidential candidate for Democrats is. So right away, they took democracy, as they always like to say, away from Democrats.
Yep.
And they were like, this is her moment where she's going to shine from the View. And you could just see her crash and burn right there on that moment, that when you've got Whoopi and other people going, is there anything? No. $1.5 billion to get her elected. And she lost.
No,
And
it was more than that. That's how
just
much
meant
she
for
had.
her.
She spent more than that.
Right. But keep in mind,
Like
she
the-
only did for like 9
The
weeks
Democrat
of
Party
electing.
went in the hole.
Yeah.
No, she every mistake that could be made, she made. The problem is by had she said I would have done a lot different than Biden, she would have burned her base. And that's why she couldn't say that. Which is why if it came head to head, unless JD and Trump, hope you're listening, JD and Trump, you gotta be open and talk to each other about this when the time comes. If there's anything negative that even the people, it may be right, but if especially the independents perceive it as negative, like maybe send the National Guard into Chicago, they might. Trump, you've got to be willing and tell JD Vance ahead of time to throw you under the bus on that. And JD Vance has to be willing to do that. And
I
Trump
believe
has to
that-
come out after he does that and support him, say, you know what? in hindsight, JD was right. And that way, JD keeps Trump's base on his side and also maintains anyone who's a dissident from that.
I think that JD has the character to do that. And I think you're right.
I know I'm right.
He needs to keep Trump's base, but I think you're wrong about Gavin Newsom being a threat. I think the rest of the country looks at Gavin Newsom in California and goes, whoa, 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 no, not here. Even New York goes, we're not going to be California. And yet they're worse.
And don't count him out.
I'm hoping to count him in.
Remember Zoran Mondami? Everyone counted him out. And then the primary was done. And do not.
Is that the guy who was logical and fixed the government, or is that somebody else?
No, that's the communist running for New York City mayor. All right. I want to talk about one more thing. I want to close out on this.
Wait a minute. You said something about Thunder Ranch. Is that like Sherry's Ranch or
Thunder Ranch was Mustang Ranch? Thunder Ranch it's not there anymore, but it was a shooting club, a shooting school down there.
All right. So there's not the same thing, y'all, just so you know.
Anyway, so I don't know if you guys have ever seen Father Ted or the IT Crowd. They're British comedies, great shows. IT Crowd is still one of my favorites. It's, classic. But anyway, so the writer of that, Graham Linehan, he's an Irish cat, and he was over here in Arizona, and he used to be a hardcore leftist, and then he had an awakening during this whole transgender movement, and he kind of went the same way as that J.K. Rowling lady and started speaking out against the trans movement. And he made a tweet almost a year ago. I think it might have been in January. He made a tweet. I don't remember exactly what it says. But anyways.
Doesn't it say specific posts?
One of the country included a statement suggesting that a trans-identified male in a female-only space was committing a violent act, and which he claimed justified calling the police or taking physical action. So that was on X or Twitter, or. So
he basically said a man who's dressing as a woman was committing a violent act, and then
if they were in like a ladies' restroom, and so you should be allowed to call the police or take physical action. So anyway, so he arrives in England. I want to say this was on Monday, and the British.
David's
I want to vote for a midget.
David,
I'm down for that. Let's do that. Anyway, so the British police arrested him, and remember JD Vance in January was over in Europe, kind of calling out all the Europeans in England for their
anti-freedom of speech,
their lack of free speech. Well, anyways, Nigel Farage, which only the Brits can have a cool name like Nigel. Anyways, so do you guys know who Nigel Farage is?
I don't know.
He's the guy running for the new British kind of independent right wing party. He's kind of their head of that, but he was over here talking about the lack of free speech to our Congress. So
it's true though, guys. In Britain, you cannot make posts on X. In fact, there's an open order to arrest Elon Musk, right? If he comes over there. And
could you imagine if they did that? He's got more money than the whole country. Old Nigel Farage here. Anyways, he gave a speech in front of our Congress, and he said, yes, free speech is under threat in England. He says we're becoming a totalitarian state.
Have you seen the protests happening across the world regarding immigration, especially in England? That country is a scary place to be right now, and the people are rising up. But right now, their freedom of speech rights
Germany,
are gone.
Australia, New Zealand.
People are starting to come back, and now the government has to go, wait a minute, what do you mean you don't want all these people coming from war-torn countries or poor countries to come and live with us and not adapt to our cultures. A little girl arrested in Britain for carrying a knife and a hatchet because she was abused.
She was being harassed. At that moment, the person taking the video was one of her harassers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotland's done. That Scotland party, they're done. But anyways, old Jamie Ratskin, right? Old Jamie Ratskin, he tried coming down hard on him, but coming down hard on Nigel. But Nigel said that that England is an adversary to free speech.
Yeah.
And he said that to our Congress. He came over and testified to it. So I don't know. Maybe we need to send the National Guard to England. Set them free.
Do they have red coats they could wear? Just, for a little switcheroo, how the turntables have turned.
I'll bet Great Britain could put up a good 7-8 minutes of fight.
Do you know what? My cousin shared a story out of Britain that was so crazy that I want to see if I can find it. I may not be able to. I could just give you the gist. But basically, a British girl was assaulted 3 times in one day by different people. And at first it was she was walking, she was 12 years old, and someone assaulted her at a graveyard. And when they got done and left her, she was walking down the street and someone pulled over and said, "Do you need help?" And she looked like she was obviously in need of help. And the guy picked her up and he also assaulted her, the guy that picked her up. And then when he left her he bought her a bus ticket or something. I don't remember what he got her. But anyway, she goes to get the bus and someone there grabs her and takes her. And they are all immigrants in this city. This is a city of 233,000 people. She was assaulted 3 times in the same day by minorities in that city. And she ended up at the police station, and the cops say, "Come back when you have a parent here to hear your testimony and she's just like, I don't even know what to do. Like, what do you do? A population that small, the chance of that happening in this community, with our community as it is, we're 78,000 people in the county, right? The chances of our child getting assaulted by one person in this community is pretty slim. 3 in the same day. Salt Lake City has a lot more people, but to me, this is a culture of people that do not value women or girls. They are objects or tools only for their enjoyment. And I'm glad they didn't kill her, but some people would say they might as well have, because of the effects it has on their lives for the rest of their lives. And I always want the victim not to be killed. Always, always. I think that the criminal is the person that should rot and be tortured for the rest of their life. But these girls should be able to see another day and get through it. But when this is happening in these small towns, in Germany too, where our family is, they don't go out at night anymore on the streets.
No, they can't.
My sister has a market. She literally has done markets in Germany as long as she's been. I mean, she's older than me, but it's my husband's sister.
And they can't own weapons over there.
No, they cannot.
Neither in England. Farage is the head of the Reform UK party. Anyways.
And France.
Well, France is always on fire.
France, they have a migrant problem.
Yeah.
Germany has a migrant problem.
Yep.
But now it's changed. Now they have an angry populist problem.
Yeah. Well,
and finally people are standing up. But there's no guns allowed over there. And you know what? These folks are threatened with knives daily.
Well, I think here's a word for Nigel. Nigel, I think you need to go find someone with the last name of Cromwell, and get them into your Reform UK and get that person elected. You need to make a change. In France, I think you might need to look at a guy named I mean, I hate to say it, but you might have to go with a Robespierre or maybe even a Napoleon.
What is about Germany? No.
We don't need to say that.
Well, tell me this. What can the United States government do for this man arrested in Great Britain? Nothing, right? He's not a citizen.
No, he's not. He's actually a citizen of
Ireland.
Ireland. He made the tweet in the U.S. I don't know if there's anything going to. What we need to do is we need to say, "Oh, you guys don't like free speech." Well, we tend to hold free speech as our dearest value. And you know what? Let's come to the table and you sign a treaty that you're going to back it up. Or, let me introduce you to a little bit of friend named Tariff.
How does Britain get to charge him with a crime that it would be like United States arresting me when I got home from Amsterdam, because I had a brownie in Amsterdam when pot was still illegal. How do they arrest you for a crime that's not illegal where in the US while he's in the US or when he comes back to the country?
It's because
there's precedent there.
England is, so now the police are trying to backtrack. This has been coming out of the College of Policing over there. They're trying to backtrack, say, well, the law needs to be written better because this made headlines. And this thing alone, I think, is what is going to make Great Britain's totalitarian regime actions change.
I hope so, because that takes investigation to know when he's going to fly in, what airport he's on. They had to investigate that. That's not like 5 officers showed up at Heathrow.
5 armed police officers in that Limey airport where there are no guns allowed. 5 armed police officers to arrest one very famous comedian. This guy's very famous.
I mean, how stupid are they?
He's written some of the best known like sitcoms in England.
Well, just like, I mean, how do they not arrest J.K. Rowling then? She's still in England, right?
Well, I'm sure she lives on an estate.
But I mean,
she probably
wouldn't that be the same thing?
I absolutely know that she has security.
Well, I'm sure she has armed security, but what I'm wondering is, how do they arrest him?
Because he was in a public place. She's not into a public place.
So you think they would arrest her probably if she was ever out and about?
If she put a tweet out there, because they're saying he was inciting violence.
I just, free speech is free speech. And I hate to say it. I think that you decide for yourself if you're going to be violent.
Says the arrest has sparked significant debate about free speech in the UK, with many public figures criticizing the police's actions as excessive. Yeah, I think the police are going to have a restructuring there soon. That limey pencil neck geek that threatened to come over here and extradite us. Please, Great Britain, try.
He's been released on bail, but is prohibited from posting on social media while the He
needs to hop on an airplane.
Get back on an airplane.
Come back to Arizona.
I bet they took his passport.
Get on an airplane, come back to Arizona, and
come and take it.
Now, he got hit hard during the whole trans thing. He got blacklisted, much like J.K. Rowling did. J.K. Rowling was just... Take a minute to reflect on. We got 2 minutes left on the show to reflect on. She is the smartest woman on earth because she maintained every bit of control of Harry Potter and all that. So he probably wrote that for the BBC or whatever other communist rag, where she maintained every bit of control of that.
Yeah, and that's something most people don't do when they're still trying to get famous.
She's a smart woman. Or she had a good lawyer. There again, smart woman.
But she didn't start Harry Potter with a good lawyer. She had to be smart right off the bat. And it is a brilliant story, and it's a magnificent story. So yeah, I think she is pretty damn smart, because you think about it, you're writing a novel and you're writing on a train and you just lost your husband and you're a single mom. Oh. And then she turns around and decides, well, I want ownership of this because I could see this being a movie and I want all the rights to the movies and the books. and she becomes an overnight sensation.
When they come to her and want to make a movie, she says, I maintain rights. That's
yes,
in there.
and she also watches the script and all of that.
Now Dave brings up a good one. So AfD, Alternative for Deutschland. It's kind of a reform party for Germany. They had 7 people running for office die in the last week.
Wow, that is
just in one party. Now, some of them,
that's crazy.
like one of the guys was like 80 years old. All right. But some of them are very questionable. And AfD
in
is
a week.
In a week. And AfD is the party that I would say Germany illegally counted out of the polls in their last election.
You watch it. How did Hitler become Hitler? I mean, these parties, and then all of a sudden start taking out your adversaries, and you, not in a fair way either. And before you know it, something on the rise comes out that is just so over the top.
Well,
the people get so desperate, they will follow.
That's anything. What I was saying earlier. Hitler got in there because the Treaty of Versailles, and they devalued Germany so much, not just the Allies, but also the Weimar Republic devalued Germany so much. The French were invading between the two wars. No one ever talks about that. France was invading Alsace-Lorraine between the two wars. And then they wonder why they vote a radical in. You know, Napoleon got in there because the right wing was about to overthrow the Jacobins.
I don't know what those are.
That's French Revolution.
No, I didn't. Jacobins. I never heard that before.
Jacobins was Robespierre's groups.
Oh, gotcha. Well, this is the problem, guys. The European nations, the Western nations, they were under attack years and years and years ago, and they didn't know it, and they fell for this cultural shift, and under the guise of, hey, let's be diverse. Well, diversity never made a country better. Unity makes a country better. And yes, we want all different types of cultures, but you have to focus on the culture of the country you're living in, because that's what makes a country strong. And then keep your own culture at home and celebrate your traditions and all of that. But you acclimate to the culture that you are living in. If I lived in Germany, I would totally take on the German culture and still celebrate my American culture at home with my kids. But out in the world, you want to be as German as possible, because that's what becoming a citizen of that country entails. That was never required by these other countries when these other immigrants started coming in. And then it was the opposite. You were a jerk. You were a racist, xenophobe, if you didn't accept these people don't speak your language. You didn't accept these people don't have jobs or houses, and the government has to step in. You were battled into a corner, and then people just shut down and shut up. Or they started being supporters of these people and helping these people, all the while not realizing behind the scenes it was a mass control of a populace.
I think I got a conspiracy mind about it. I think it's the wealthy and the leadership class got together and said, we're just going to keep obtaining the wealth. Oh, but the regular man won't be able to afford to live very well. They'll quit having kids. And they're like, we don't care. We'll bring in immigrants when that happens. And I think they started doing that throughout the 80s across all of the Western world. And that's when you see these crazy rates where CEOs make 3,000 times the employees. Like, that's something that's unheard of in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 40s, especially not.
Yeah, but CEOs are responsible.
Yes, they are. But 3,000 times more. That's stretching it. That's stretching the viability. But
I believe if you have someone who can make your company profitable, you pay what they're worth.
Hold on. They do that. They keep running that. And then the average citizen keeps falling behind. So they don't reproduce. So then they start bringing in immigrants. The immigrants are violating the average person. The girls that are getting hurt in England, in Rotherham and all those places, they're the poorest. They're the poorest girls. And next it'll be the lower middle class. And after that, it'll be the middle class, which is hollowed out already. And that's who they hollowed out for this. And the government raises taxes on the middle class. And then they have carve outs for the wealthy. And this has been going on and going on and going on. And we're all too late to recognize. And there's only two ways out of this. And I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. But that's the show.
Guys, I think everybody, I'm sure that everybody's, I know for me personally, I want Donald Trump to handle the immigration and ICE and everything with a very strong hand and keep it black and white. Let's get the criminals that have done violent crimes and things out. And then I think reform absolutely needs to come next. Concurrent, like let's get it done. But I think there are a lot of people out there who are scared and worried, and I want for them not to be, but I also want for them to appreciate what the little man or woman has been going through, what the middle class has been going through, and what we're seeing our tax dollars go to the last 4 years. And the last 20 years. And it just got to a boiling point through Biden when immigrants were getting, $3,000 a month or something. And the middle class is they're getting taxed to the hilt. The billionaires are getting taxed to the hilt. I mean, how much of your money do you deserve to keep? And yet when they're taking it from you and these immigrants are getting all this free money and they're being shipped throughout the country under the night, the dark of night, and they're getting shipped to small towns all over. And then you see these people running for office who have no interest in the American dream or the Constitution. And all of a sudden you got people in, what's the state? Is it Minnesota that has the Somalian flag, basically?
Yeah.
You've got a community rise up that isn't even into the American culture at all. What happens to the people of that city, of those cities that have lived in Minnesota their whole lives, who from the founding of this nation and before lived there? What about those people? And it is a scary thing because we have to protect Western culture because they're not interested in it, period. They're not. He's going to show you the Minnesota flag.
Oh, Minnesota went hard.
Did you show him?
I'm hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This thing's jumping around on me. Okay, just stay there, Mr. Computer. Okay, so I'm going to show you the Minnesota state flag. Oh, I hate Amazon when it comes to
this is just what we're talking about when it just creeps in, and what's about to happen in New York with this potentially Democrat mayor. He's talking about free trains, free housing, free groceries. Nothing is free. Someone's paying for that, and it's not the rich. If it is the rich, they don't stick around.
Oh.
It falls on the middle class.
And
so the people are voting for just to cut off their own heads. That's what they're doing.
Somali flag, Minnesota flag.
Yes, that's exactly. That's a state in the union, guys.
Minnesota was the state who took the most Somali refugees, hence how you get Ilhan Omar from Minnesota.
Worth $30 million, by the way. Yeah. Her net worth.
Yeah, well,
she's literally living an American dream, but talking about how shitty the dream is and how impossible it is. And she's a walking hypocrite.
I can't wait. Zoran Mandami is going to be the mayor of New York City. He is a failed rapper. He's a trust fund kid who went to film school. We're about to see it. But anyways, that's
we're going to see Utopia in New York City, guys.
Yeah.
Or you're going to see the fall of the greatest city in the world. Greatest city in the world.
I think that already happened.
No, you're going to see it in fast forward.
Well, I think that fall already happened. We're just going to see what it looks like as the carcass is.
And if you live in New York, you have to be smart enough to show up to your election. Do you know, out of all the people that are registered to vote, they're 24% vote in their election last time. And this has to change. Get out and vote. This is how people like him are going to win. You can't just throw your hands up and say, nah, I'm not worried about it. This guy is a communist. New York City is where all your money is, guys.
Won't be for long. All right, you guys, that's the show. Have a good night.
I love you all.
Yep.
So glad to be back.